minds, future leaders, and amazing viewers joining us from every corner of the campus and beyond. Welcome to the Media Perspective, the show where conversations comes alive, ideas gain meaning, and realities uncovered beyond appearance. I am Lawa Mutia from Campus Spotlight TV, and with me in the studio today is
I am Abdulaziz Ganiat, your co-host for today. Today's conversation is one of those topics people casually talk about, yet every few understand the depth, pressure, creativity, and hidden reality behind it.
exactly because when people hear mass communication, the first thing that comes to their mind is television presentation, radio broadcasting, social media influencing, or reading news with polished English and confident mind. But trust us, the reality stretches far beyond microphones, cameras, trending videos, or polished television smile. Behind the spotlight lies a world of strategy, creativity, intellectual pressure, and the powerful ability to shape the society itself. We'll be uncovering what really happens behind the scene in the Department of Mass Communication, the skills students develop, and the pressure they silently manage, the opportunities available, and why mass communication remains one of the strongest forces driving the society today.
And to guide us through this eye-opening conversation, we are honored to welcome a man whose experience, insight, and understanding of communication continue to inspire students and media minds alike.
He is a lecturer, a media professional from the Department of Mass Communication, Ladok Yakitla University of Technology. Please join us in warmly welcome Dr. Ajiboye Oluwanifemi.
Thank you very much. It's such a pleasure to be here.
It is truly a pleasure having you here with us, sir.
Now, let's begin from what people think they understand about communication. Why do you think mass communication is often misunderstood as a cause?
Mass communication is often misunderstood as a cause because people tend to look at the glamour, they tend to look at the smile, they tend to look at what what the people at the front of the camera are passing through, but most times they forget about the behind the scene, and that's where most of the projects come to place.
So, in a way, the society only focuses on the glamour and the visibility, but they don't look at the responsibility and the process behind it.
Yes, the glamour is what blows their mind. Looking at the sharp angles, looking at the very clean cuts and all, but they tend to forget that it's human beings like them that are actually behind the camera. They tend to forget that it's people like them that put in all the work to make the project a success.
That is deeply insightful because communication can either build society positively or damage it completely, right?
Yes, that's very true. Communication in a way is speaking from one person to the other. And when we are talking about mass communication, is the presenter presenting a particular information to the public. When they present wrong or misinformation to the public, then the public tends to receive that information as true, then it will shape the society negatively. But if they are sharing the right information, then it will shape the society positively.
Okay, Dr. Nifemi, are you now saying that the work of the people behind the scenes is more effective than the work of those presenting on the screen?
No, it's both layered. In what sense? In the sense that the person before the screen is the total job, is the total package. It is the done deal. Yeah, let me put it in that way. It's the done deal of the people behind the scene. It's like an assignment. The people behind the scene are done with the assignment. Then the person before the scene, before the camera, is the one presenting the assignment to the public.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Nifemi.
Welcome back to the Media Perspective, the show where every conversations open new perspective and every discussion brings us to understanding the reality shaping our world today. Mass communication with glamour, confidence, and public attention. Does that really create pressure for mass communication?
Yeah, very much. Communicators are expected to be expressive. They are expected to be open. They are expected to always face the camera with a smile, and that's so much pressure for communicators. Let's imagine a communicator that was in a very bad mood before coming before the camera. Communicator is expected to face the camera with a smile, even though
Exactly.
the communicator is passing through some things.
That is really interesting because people usually see the polished final appearances without seeing the process and the stress behind the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. They just see the presentation, not the prayer. They see the beauty, they admire the confidence, they admire how well things go, but they don't actually know the prayer underneath.
Absolutely. Conversation like this deepens one's respect for communication because people often look and celebrate the final performance without realizing the emotional energy, the pressure, and the effort put into the production of the final product.
That's very true. Communication is not just about speaking fluently.
Yes.
It's not just about smiling to the camera, but it involves emotion. We have to put in emotion to make it believable to the audience.
Yes, and that honestly explains why communication itself is both an art and a powerful social tool.
Yeah, communication is one of the major tools that influences the society. It's one of the major tools that shaping how people think. Thinking about how communication was once used as propaganda by the military, it's shaping how people think about them. Even when they do things that are wrong, as long as they are able to use communication as propaganda, they'll be able to influence and shape what the society thinks.
Yeah. From what you just said now, Dr. Nifelus, can you please give us the details of how communication is shaping society?
Communication is shaping the society in various ways. Let's talk about, I'm not going to name names, but let's talk about television channels that are used as propaganda by political parties. You know, it's shaping the way people think about a particular political party because what you are always open to, what you always see, is what is going to shape the kind of person you are.
And what can you say about how mass communication affects the society at large?
Mass communication affects the society at large due to the fact that mass communication is is what is being broadcasted to people on a daily through the newspaper, through the
They cannot
broadcasting.
run from it. They will surely get
Exactly.
it.
They always see it. Communication is beyond just reading the news, it's beyond just listening to programs such as this. Communication is also it also includes things we listen to generally, things we see generally. That's communication.
So that means communication itself is power.
Yeah, absolutely. Information is very powerful because, as I just said, it is what people hear mostly that is going to shape the kind of person they are. So, communication is power in the sense that it affects people's decision making. When they hear a lot about, you see a lot of atrocities happening, but let's talk about atrocities that are painted to be good. When such atrocities are painted to be good and people listen to them on a daily, then
Especially
before you
what
know,
people hear and see every day.
Yes, they
exactly,
accept it to be true or to be very fake.
that's just it. That's just it.
This is getting more interesting, educating, and high opening because imagine someone that does not know the reality of what happened behind the scene in mass communication. Watching this show now, you will get in-depth knowledge about what happened behind the scene in mass communication. We'll be going for a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for a snack that eats differently? Plum Plum Treats Crunchy Milky Chin Chin is made with rich quality ingredients for that perfect homemade goodness. Every bite gives you that milky sweetness, buttery richness, and addictive crunch you can't resist. Whether you're at school, work, or relaxing at home, it's the perfect snack for every moment. Order Plum Plum Treats Crunchy Milky Chin Chin today and enjoy the ultimate sweet crunch experience. Plum Plum Treat, sweet treat for your sweet tooth.
Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned. Sir, can someone who is studying mass communication still become an entrepreneur?
Certainly, students of mass communication can also become entrepreneurs. I'm going to be giving you an instance from my students, the 200 level students of mass communication at Nadoke Akintola University of Technology. In their first semester, they offer the course ENT 211, and that course is talking about entrepreneurship. We are not just majoring in broadcasting. We are not just majoring in public relations and advertising. We are not just majoring in print. We are also teaching our students that before they can get these white collar jobs, they should be able to stand for themselves and they should be able to make good out of their lives.
That is really impressive because it means communication skills themselves can become more powerful financially and creative assets.
Yeah, exactly. In today's world, thanks to digitalization, after studying mass communication, you can easily go online and take it as your passion. You can take it as your passion to broadcast verifiable facts, verifiable information, verifiable news, and just open, let's take an Instagram account for example, and monetize your account. Those things will bring not much, but you'll be able to make good use. You
Exactly.
earn money before you can get this white collar job. Because I'm not going to lie, there are just so many media houses, and there are a lot of students graduating every year. So we are equipping our students not only to be good in communication, but to be also good in
In other
entrepreneurship.
fields.
Yes, they learn politics, they learn education, they learn just there are varieties of things that they learn to make sure they are equipped for the society.
Without a doubt, today's conversation has completely transformed the ordinary perception about mass communication.
Definitely, we've discovered that the department is not simply about speaking on television, it's about posting online content or appearing behind cameras.
It is about understanding people, managing information responsibly, influencing society positively, developing creative and adapting to an ever shaping digital world.
And we've also learned that behind every media method lies strategy, preparation, and emotional intelligence, professionalism, and responsibility.
And perhaps the most powerful lesson today is that communication itself shapes society, whether positively or negatively.
Dr. Nifemi, thank you so much for sharing those beautiful insights
It's a
and
pleasure. It's a pleasure.
such enlightening insight with us today. Your words have not only educated our audience, but have also opened minds to a deeper realities and opportunities within mass communication. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much for having me. It's such a pleasure to have this meaningful information to you.
Viewers who stay connected to us throughout this journey. Thank you for staying with us. We really appreciate this moment with you. And we hope this conversation inspires you and change your narrative about what happened behind the scenes in mass communication department.
I am your co-host Abdulaziz Ganiyat.
Join us next week on Campus Spotlight TV, where we'll be bringing another episode where we'll be talking about communication, inspiring discussion at exactly 10 o'clock a.m. I'm still your favorite host, Lawal Bishad. Until next time.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep using your voice to create meaningful impact. Goodbye and stay inspired.